I'm not sleeping until we've got that belt back. I know everybody's laughing and say, yeah, Dricus was exposed. I'm a bad loser. Dricus is a bad loser. It's going to take whatever it takes for us to get back that belt back ASAP. It's not going to be a long story.
They kind of overlooked, they didn't take it that serious. They felt, okay, if we survive one, we're good. But to get to, you got to survive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just couldn't do it.
Anyone that says it's a boring fight is a casual. Now, Chimaev, everyone knew the first round was going to look like that. What we didn't expect was Chimaev's ability to do that for 25 minutes. That was mind-blowing. He is the most purest build I've ever seen. He put all his stat points in wrestling.
It was like, I get this. He get this.
Khamzat Chimaev put on a spectacular and absolutely dominant performance at UFC 319 to claim his maiden UFC belt. Chimaev outclassed DDP and is now back in his hometown, where he has received an incredible welcome from his countrymen in the UAE. However, despite accepting the defeat and acknowledging the opponent, DDP's coach has grabbed attention due to his unnecessary trash talk. Dricus, Plessis' coach, says their focus is on fixing mistakes before rushing into another fight, because the goal is to destroy Khamzat Chimaev in a rematch. He admits it sounds simple, just stopping the takedowns, getting back up, and punishing Khamzat, but also acknowledges that Khamzat has improved his wrestling, making it a tougher challenge. Still, he insists their time is better spent addressing these issues so they can come back prepared to beat him.
People are saying RDR is the next fight for you guys. You wouldn't be interested in a potential contender if you had to fight a contender next?
Look, I'll rather, I'll be honest with you, instead of spending time to prepare for going to another fight camp to prepare for RDR, I would rather spend that time to fix the problem that we've got and then go into a camp. So I won't just take a fight because fights are available. I want to fix this problem because we're going to face Khamzat and I want to destroy him this time. And I know it sounds easy, man. It sounds so easy. If you can just get that guy not to take you down, or stuff his takedowns and stand back up and just punish him. But he also picked up his wrestling game. So no RDR for us right now. Now I'll rather spend the time in fixing this problem.
Coach Morn Visser says Dricus Plessis will stop at nothing to reclaim the belt. He explains that critics may laugh and call Dricus exposed, but both he and his fighter are relentless. Visser emphasizes that they will do whatever it takes, aiming for the title in the very next fight. He also notes that fans who favor easy, predictable fights don't understand real competition, and that Dricus will shock everyone when he takes the belt back.
Watch this space, guys. You've just maybe met the worst losers ever in your life, me and Dricus, and I'm not sleeping until we've got that belt back. I know everybody's laughing and say, yeah, Dricus was exposed. I'm a bad loser. Dricus is a bad loser. It's going to take whatever it takes for us to get back that belt back ASAP. It's not going to be a long story. One fight and the belt. That's us back in the belt. So to all those naysayers and all the guys who support blanket style MMA, blanket wrestling, we in the real fight game, and we'll be back again and surprise you with just taking that belt back again.
The fans are shocked at his statements, as there was no need to say such things, especially after Khamzat's dominant performance. Even before the fight, DDP's coach spoke with extreme confidence, and many fans felt he was far too overconfident. He said Khamzat didn't know what it was like to face someone who actually wanted to wrestle, claiming Khamzat had only fought opponents trying to escape his wrestling. He insisted they wanted to meet him head on and that Khamzat was one-dimensional. one-dimensional. He even dismissed Khamzat's striking entirely, saying it presented no problems at all for them.
Khamzat doesn't know what it is when people want to wrestle him. He's only facing guys who's trying to get away from his wrestling. We don't want to try to get away from his wrestling. We want to him up in his game. You can't think that you're going to beat my guy coming with one thing, and that's wrestling. That guy's one-dimensional. Have you seen his stand-up? I won't even give him a pro license for his stand-up. It doesn't present any problem for us.
However, everyone saw what happened in the fight. Former champion Kamaru Usman also slammed DDP's team for making such statements and overlooking the opponents. He said Dricus du Plessis and his team lost to Khamzat Chimaev because they underestimated his strengths. He explains that their confidence turns into a lack of respect as they dismiss the idea that Khamzat can win with one skill. Usman stresses that the skill they overlook is one of the most dominant weapons in the sport, and ignoring it leads to their downfall.
And even in the lead up is, I felt that, I don't want to say Dricus was too overconfident. I felt that even the team, with the way that they were talking, with the way that they were kind of the lack of respect for Khamzat, like, oh yeah, you can't come beat us with just one skill. You think you're just going to beat us with one skill? That's a pretty damn important skill. You know, it's a big one to overlook.
It is.
And
oh, it's the best one.
Kamaru Usman says Dricus du Plessis' team overlooked Khamzat's strengths and paid the price. He explains that they think surviving one round is enough, but against Khamzat, you have to survive all 5, and they simply cannot. Usman points out that Dricus spends 3 of those rounds stuck in a crucifix with no way out, showing the massive difference in styles and how unprepared his team really is.
They kind of overlooked, they didn't take it that serious. They felt, okay, if we survive one, we're good. But you got to survive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just couldn't do it. I mean, he was crucified, I think 3 out of the 5 rounds. Crucified and had no answer for it. Like, it was almost like, I don't know how to get out of here. You know, it really was a big differential in styles.
Kamaru Usman also admitted that Khamzat Chimaev manages his energy perfectly, noting that he could have ended Dricus du Plessis before the 3rd round. He explains that going for an early finish can backfire, leaving a fighter exhausted in later rounds and unable to perform at full strength.
And even watching that, Khamzat made a lot of mistakes that I think would have got him that finish before that 3rd round. You know, he got to a position where it was just kind of so easy. It was almost him controlling himself. He had to control his own emotions. He had to control his gas tank, because that's not easy to dominate a guy like that. And everything is working because in your mind, you're wanting resistance. Resistance is how you gauge how much output I need to put out, you know? But if everything is going right, you can't gauge how much output to put out. You're just like, maybe you might try to finish in that 1st round, then you get up 2nd round, you're like, whoa, I can't even lift my arms. Why am I so tired?
Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya praises Khamzat Chimaev for raising the standard at middleweight, saying the division is in safe hands with him as champion. He points out that Khamzat doesn't fade in deep waters the way many expect, and instead drains his opponents while finding extra gears late in the fight. Adesanya highlights how Khamzat overwhelms Dricus du Plessis with relentless pressure, proving he has the cardio and resilience to dominate at championship level.
Yeah, not what I expected, but I'm glad Khamzat fixed his cardio or improved his cardio to the point where he can go 5 rounds and just ragdoll people. That's a mess. That's a mess to deal with, because I thought DDP, okay, maybe round 4, he'd be able to stuff the takedowns because Khamzat would get tired, but he didn't even slow down. He slowed down DDP. He slowed him down, which was very impressive, because that's when he finished me round 4, because I thought, okay, I got him now, but he just finds a way to get his 3rd wind, 4th wind. But yeah, Khamzat made sure he didn't even get the 1st wind and just smothered him. 50-44, something crazy. 50-44, yeah, 50-44, that was crazy. So yeah, Khamzat, new middleweight champion, division's in good hands.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan reacted to this fight and feels that closing the gap in skills against Khamzat is a massive challenge for Dricus du Plessis. He explains that the grappling dominance Khamzat shows isn't just a single level, but multiple levels above, and Dricus has no answer for it. Rogan adds adds that whoever Dricus trains with, it's clear he hasn't brought in anyone with that level of ability. Joe Rogan said, "For Dricus to come back from that and bridge the gap between him and Khamzat, that is a tall task. That kind of grappling dominance was not just a level, it was multiple levels. Dricus didn't have any answer for that. I don't know who he brought in to train with him, but clearly he didn't bring in anybody that had that kind of skill." Furthermore, heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall was impressed by Khamzat Chimaev's dominance over Dricus du Plessis. He highlighted Khamzat's control from the start, his stance switching, and flawless ground positioning. Aspinall praised the complete performance, congratulating Chimaev as the new middleweight champion while recognizing DDP's toughness.
To be honest, I've been thinking that this is going to be the fight of the year, so we'll see how that goes. Took him down straight away on the low double. A minute into the fight, he's got him in the crucifix. Little punches to the ear. He's working on his collie. Completely dominated in the first round. Khamzat straight on a double again, sits him down. If I was Khamzat though, I'd be trying to finish it in this spot. Once he gets them hands together from the back position like that, his grip must be unbelievable. What Khamzat's doing really well is he's switching stances a lot as well from the stand-up. In the limited stand-up that he's doing, he's keeping DDP guessing. But oh, he's managed to reverse him though with 2.5 minutes left. Don't go for no submissions and nothing like that. Don't lose position. Oh, he's come for the guillotine. He's lost his position. He's popped his head straight out. Oh, last minute. He's put a few shots on him there though. He's got him going backwards. Oh, DDP's ended up on top with 30 seconds left. I don't think he'll have enough time to do much damage, but that's it. So a complete shot out for Khamzat Chimaev, new champion at middleweight. Congratulations to Khamzat. Commiserations to DDP.
Michael Bisping also admires the new champion in Khamzat Chimaev, the first from Chechnya. He emphasizes how Chimaev dominated Dricus du Plessis from start to finish, leaving no doubt. Bisping notes the judges' scorecards all reflected total control, and he describes Chimaev's performance as a complete wipeout over his opponent.
It is finished and we have got a brand new champion of the world, the first Chechen champion, because yes, Khamzat Chimaev, Boris the undefeated, went out there and absolutely ragdolled Dricus du Plessis from start to finish. It wasn't even close. I mean, when you look at the judges' scorecards, the scores were 50-44, 50-44, and 50-44, all across the board. Now, there was a 10-8 round thrown in there. There could have been a few more 10-8s. The reality was Khamzat Chimaev went out there and just wiped the floor with him. He did.
Bisping also praised Dricus du Plessis for his resilience, noting that he stayed composed, focused, and never gave up throughout the fight. He highlighted DDP's persistence, especially in round 5 when he defended a takedown, landed strikes, and gained top position. Despite that, Bisping emphasized that Khamzat Chimaev's superior wrestling allowed him to regain control and finish on top.
Dricus never gave up. Fair play to Dricus du Plessis. He stayed composed, he stayed focused, he didn't panic, he didn't quit, he didn't give up on himself. In between rounds at the start of the fight, he was still kind of jovial and saying, look, listen, I got this. At the end of the fight, he was still confident of getting a finish. And his best moment came at the end of the fight. In round 5, he managed to stop a takedown. He landed a couple of shots on the feet, managed to get top position, but then Khamzat Chimaev, with that freakishly good wrestling that he has, was able to turn the tide and get on top once again.
Bisping explained that as soon as the fight began, Khamzat Chimaev quickly secured the first takedown. Dricus tried to defend with a headlock, narrowly avoiding a potential submission. Chimaev attempted several submissions, including a Kimura and rear naked choke, but DDP stayed alert and defended well. Much of the fight saw Dricus caught in Chimaev's crucifix as Khamzat controlled him from side control, pinned one arm with his knees, trapped the other with his head, and used the free hand to land strikes before finishing the fight.
As soon as the fight started, we knew about the wrestling from Khamzat Chimaev, but it was just seconds. And I mean seconds before Khamzat Chimaev was able to get the first takedown. Dricus hung on to a headlock. There could have been a Vlam flu choke there, but he let go of it. Obviously, he was wise to that. There was a couple of Kimura attempts here and there from Khamzat. Of course, he was trying to get the rear naked choke here and there as well. He was trying to get finishes. He was trying to get the stoppage. He was, but he couldn't do it because Dricus was defending. Now, Dricus spent a lot of the time in the crucifix position. When Khamzat took him down in the first round, just within seconds, he managed to get to side control, pin one of the arms down with his knees. The other hand you trap using your head. Then you have the other arm free to land shots, to crack him in the face and ultimately get the finish.
Bisping also acknowledges Dricus du Plessis as a great fighter, but emphasizes that the middleweight division now belongs to Khamzat Chimaev. He warns that Chimaev as champion could dominate the division, calling it a disaster for competitors. According to Bisping, very few fighters can challenge him, with only Ranier Did having a realistic shot due to his elite jiu-jitsu and ground skills.
I'm not going to sit here and criticize Dricus du Plessis. I think he's an incredible fighter and a great champion, and he very well may be back. But right now we are living in the era of Khamzat Chimaev, and I'm telling you right now, and just like Dean Thomas said, this will be a disaster with Khamzat Chimaev as the champion. I don't mean because of what Dean Thomas said. Dean Thomas was like, he isn't going to be able to fight too frequently. He struggles to get visas and stuff like that. No, when I say this is a disaster, it's a disaster for the division. Because from what I see there, ain't nobody apart from Ranier de Ridder, ain't nobody beating him. Ranier de Ridder is the only guy that has a shot because of the jiu-jitsu, because of the skills that he has off his back, okay?
Meanwhile, there was a lot of talk that Khamzat versus DDP was a boring fight, and former UFC champion Robert Whittaker didn't like this at all. Whittaker defends Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, saying only casuals would call it boring after watching Khamzat's elite domination. He explains that Chimaev controlling someone as tough and relentless as Dricus, who usually never gasses, has huge strength and endless cardio, was something rare and impressive, the kind of one-sided dominance true fans should appreciate.
Anyone that says it's a boring fight is a casual, okay? No offense. No offense. Like, you got to take a little offense. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of the sport, okay, and you're not absolutely fascinated by the ability, like by Chimaev's ability to control someone who's as dogged and fights out of things like Dricus, who's done it time and time again, who's physically never gasses anymore, like super strong, has cardio for days, is prepared for him, has a great headspace. If you're not fascinated by like such a one-sided domination, man, then you have to be a casual, because you never see this, never.
Robert Whittaker says that at the championship level, seeing someone get crucifixed and controlled for 15 minutes is unbelievable. He questions how anyone can be a real fan of the sport and not recognize how crazy and impressive that level of domination is.
This level at championship fights, this level of control, man, we just saw someone get crucifixed for like 15 minutes. Like, how can you be a fan of the sport and not think, wow, that's crazy?
Meanwhile, there were also some rumors that Kamaru Usman might have defeated Khamzat if he hadn't accepted the fight on short notice. However, Kamaru Usman also shuts down the short notice excuses and gives full credit to Khamzat Chimaev. He says that regardless of the circumstances, it was still a loss for him and a win for Khamzat. Usman explains that fighters always deal with different challenges going into a fight, but Khamzat did what he needed to do and earned the victory, so he deserves that respect.
First and foremost, let's address it with the whole, oh yeah, you took the fight on this day's notice and it looked, listen, at the end of the day, I know who I am as a fighter and the way that I approach this game, and so does Khamzat Chimaev. At the end of the day, it was still a loss on my side, and it was a win on the win column of Khamzat Chimaev. So I don't, oh yeah, you should feel this way. No, it was an L. I don't feel any sort of type of way. It's an L, and there's a mutual respect there with how I respect him for coming at it, because each and every fight that we go into as fighters, you don't know what we're dealing with. You don't know what he was dealing with. You don't know what I was dealing with, going into the fight. And it looked the way it did. And also, like I said, styles make fights. I'm a much different style than these guys are. And I say it all the time. You don't know until you get in there. Khamzat did the best that he could to get the win, and he got that win. So let's give him that credit and let's move on.
Gordon Ryan also reacted to UFC 319 and said Khamzat Chimaev's title win shows how the sport is evolving. He points out that what makes the difference now is not just submissions or striking, but the ability to control every transition. Ryan explains that fighters who can dictate the scrambles and maintain pressure have a huge edge, and Khamzat proves exactly that by showing how modern grappling has surpassed old school approaches inside the cage. Gordon Ryan said, "That was one of the most impressive performances in a UFC title fight ever. A true masterclass of control. Their scrimmaging and ability to control both chest-to-chest and chest-to-back positions are leaving classical jiu-jitsu in the dust when it comes to fighting. The most successful MMA grapplers will be the ones who can keep the connection through transitions and win the scrimmage. The person who controls the direction of the fight has an extreme advantage, and Khamzat just showed it." Moreover, Dana White talked about Khamzat Chimaev's dominant win over Dricus du Plessis, admitting the performance surprised him. He says that while he expected the main event to be exciting, he didn't foresee it playing out that way. Still, he notes that when a fighter establishes control early, it usually dictates how the rest of the fight unfolds.
Incredible energy in the crowd, incredible fight itself. Khamzat's performance, I mean, was unbelievable. Yeah. Give us your takeaway of it. And did you see before this fight that being the possible way it was going to play out?
No. The lead up to this fight, I said, I bet the main event is the fight of the night. Didn't see that coming, but not shocked either. I mean, you go in and dominate the way that he dominated. If you can do it the first round, more than likely going to do it the second and throughout the rest of the fight.
Dana White reveals that he scored almost every round heavily in favor of Chimaev, except for the final round. He highlights how grueling it was for du Plessis to endure punishing positions, absorbing strikes and elbows, yet still pushing forward. White commends du Plessis for his determination, heart, and persistence in attempting to fight back each round.
And what did you think of DDP's performance, right? Obviously, he was outmatched in the wrestling, never gave up, though. Even in the last round, he started landing his own shots. What did you make of DDP and his toughness to survive 5 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I had every round at 10-8, maybe except for the last round. You know, to be in the position that he was in and the crucifix and just getting dominated on the ground and punched in the face and elbowed, and it's a very frustrating place to be in. I thought he handled it well and came out every round, you know, trying to get in the fight and try to win. Yeah. Impressive.
Demetrius Johnson also reacts to the fight, praising both competitors. He notes Chimaev's dominant performance and applauds du Plessis for his resilience and creativity, especially his attempts at various submissions despite being outmatched. Johnson adds that fans uninterested in grappling should watch other combat sports instead of criticizing MMA.
There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. 2 minutes left, baby. Let's see what you got. King of Africa. Oh! Oh! Fuck. I'm sorry, chat. I wanted to see a finish. This isn't a fan-friendly style. Oh! Oh, shit! He's gonna finish. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh! He's got a body triangle. Oh, man. Just out wrestled, but great fight from Khamzat. DDP has a lot of heart, and I love that about him. I love that he's able to transition. He took it back, had a body triangle, went for a guillotine, went for a rear naked choke. If you guys don't want to watch grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, don't watch UFC.
Caio Borralho also gave his thoughts about Khamzat Chimaev's win, saying he wasn't surprised by the result, but found the fight less thrilling since it went the distance. Having trained with Chimaev at All Stars, he explains that knowing Chimaev's system gives him a distinct advantage over others in the division. Borralho emphasizes that while he respects Chimaev like a brother, competition comes first, and he considers himself the only fighter currently capable of defeating him.
We see 529 total strikes landed, 21 minutes of ground control, but you see a lot of fans out there calling it boring, not exciting. What did you think?
I think he did what he always does, but this time he didn't finish. So when a grappler comes and just hug the guys and he doesn't finish, it becomes a boring fight. Spent 1 month in his training camp when he was in All Stars over there, and I know very well how he works, his system and everything. And I think have advantage between all the middleweight fighters. I think I'm the one that have advantage to beat him, because I know what exactly he's doing, what exactly is his system and all these steps that he needs to go through and how to deny these steps. So I'm very respectful for Khamzat. He's like a brother for me, but at this time, at this point, at this level of the competition, it's me and him, you know.
That wraps up today's video, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about this matchup in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about upcoming UFC encounters.